Welcome back. Welcome to AD Topcast. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys who came in again to watch and support. We love you. We love you. We love you. So today I'm going to talk about Tarif, China, and whatever's going on in the US and all over the world as what Trump did to increase tariff to everything that's coming in this country are affecting the businesses all over the world, including your country. I don't know where you are, but I'm telling you 100% it's affecting what you buy to the store. Whenever I go to the store, I know that make change. So I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, but I will let this guy show you more about it. I'm gonna say just a little bit, but I want you to listen to this video. This guy, Chris Cuomo, he's going to tell you what is the major issues. Beside all these politicians are talking about, beside all what they say, yeah, Democrat or Republican, whoever, he's going to tell you the main issues as people we face as people. It's different. So I will also talk a little bit about attacking Iran. They are holding meetings now, how they're going to do it. So I will also uh, play a few video about it with this general John King, the 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 number one forward general in America, when he's talking about attacking and destroying the nuclear facilities in Iran. He's gonna tell you that even if they try, even if they want to do it, they're not gonna be able to succeed. They can only destroy a part of it. They cannot finish it. He said that, and I was kind of shocked when I heard that because if they know they cannot stop it, why they do it anyway? That's what you're gonna what I was asking myself once he said that. So watch. The main issues it's not jobs are in Russia, it's no in China. It's not that tariff are increased. The main issues is the big companies, the big money. Watch him.
Honest. We're fine to bounce around because we're looking for clicks and views too. This is a business, news business. Here's the thing. Trump should stick to what is actually his problem right now because he's scratching at the surface of the greatest unspoken truth in American life, the topic both parties avoid and what the real power structure is all about. Not transports, not bad hombres, not even reproductive rights, not racial profiling, not democracy dying. The real elephant in the room, the real them versus us. I say Trump is scratching at it because he was when he said, if Wall Street doesn't like the tariffs, if that's what it will take to get production of high-paying jobs back here, too bad. Ooh, that was good. But then his tax policy didn't send that same message, nor did the breaks he's given donors and a bunch of other things. But then you heard the ring of truth again, Bernie and AOC scratching at it with the news that they have a new word for the real power structure in our society, the oligarchs, and why it is that they are getting Trump-sized crowds and raising record money from small donors. Problem with them is they're socialists and capitalism matters in America. So here is the real story, the real problem,
the real problem between us, the people, and them. Them means what? The big money guys.
Real thing that should unite us against a real them. China is being sold to you as the enemy, right? The disease. I say they are just as much a symptom. The reason we don't make the stuff we wear, but much more importantly, the chips, the processors, the reason we're not leading with the robotics factories, the reason they're not all over the place, the reason we don't have clean, new mini nuclear plants doing so much for our energy, the reason the tax code seems to have loopholes for everyone but you, is because the system is designed by and for and controlled by and for and financed by and for the corporate elites. That is the real establishment. Everything comes from that. That's why China is on top. That's why our politics is all about money and dominated by two parties that are constantly dividing us on side issues and trumped up culture.
This is so interesting. This is so interesting. It is so true. He said, well, the system is for, designed by, that's one, designed for, that's two, designed about, that's three, by them, for them, about them. So where we are as the people, the regular people, where are we? And this is not only in the US, that's everywhere. These big corporates, these big money, the billionaire, they design this system, the economic system, all over the world. The economy is the finances system is connected. They design it for themselves, about themselves, and it is designed by them. And they sell this to us as whatever, however they want. It's China, it's Iran, it's Russia, it's US, it's Arabia, it's Africa, it's whatever. But the main issues, they know it. If they want to fix it tomorrow, they will fix it. Do they want? We don't know.
Culture wars, it is all done to keep us away from the real problem. Those guys on stage with Trump, the big dollar donors for the Democrats.
Now, look at these guys. That is Mark Zuckerberg right here. That is, Mark Zuckerberg. You all know who he is, right? He is the Facebook owner, right? He owns Facebook and some other big companies. He's running cables all over the world, and under the sea, under the water. He's connecting Europe, Asia, America, Africa with these uh, cables, connection cables that are going under the the ocean. They got all the money in the world, so they are going to connect the whole world so they can control what's going on. Of course, we need it. Of course, we need it in hospitals, in schools, in the military, in all aspect of life. We need this this communication cable because we need to communicate. But the goal, the objective is different. So that's one. We got also Bezos, the Amazon guy. You know what he owns. He's one of these guys who want to go to the Mars. He's competing with Elon Musk with to go to colonize Mars. He's one of these big guy who even who is fighting unions in America. They don't care about people. They care about how much money they make themselves. Then you see Elon Musk. You know him. Elon Musk, the guy from South Africa. But I can tell you that how many business this guy have on an African continent? How much investment Elon Musk has on a African continent? I don't know, but he is the richest man in the world, and he's sending people to the moon. He's going to go to colonize the Mars, and he's doing it now. But how much investment does he have in South Africa, where he came from? Maybe zero. How much investment does he have in Africa, where he came from? Maybe zero. Because his goal is not the people. His goal is how much impact he make globally. How much money can he make? He doesn't care about how our life can be improved, but how himself improve himself. That's the problem. And all these guys, this big money right here, behind them, there's what? There is the government. This big money, guys, they always on the front. And the politician, they are in the back. You can see Kash Patel, the FBI director. You can see Hexon, the defense secretary. And you can go in the back. You see this guy, the energy uh, secretary. You can go in the back and see all these guys. So the big donors, the big corporate come first because those are the one who make decision and the politician follow. That's the problem, and that's what Chris Cuomo is talking about. The issue is not what they say. The issue is what they want to do. Do they want anything that improves our life? No, they don't. That's not the number one goal. The number one goal is to make the most money they can. That's why they ship these jobs to China. Now they are shipping these jobs from China to India and Philippines, and in a few other countries in Asia, because they already noticed that China is not going to comply with what they want. So let's watch a little bit more about what he's going to talk about.
Democrats in Silicon Valley and other major industries, they all went to China for what? Cheap labor, no environmental concerns, no labor safety standards. Most of them come from where? The middle class. And then they not only turned their back on it, but they totally screwed it over. And this is not some hot take. It is data. In 1970, the middle class in this country earned 60% of the income. The rich, 30%. China was the 8th largest economy. And after that, credit card offerings and rates jumped. Look at what happened by 2020. The middle class only earned 40% of the income, and the rich earned 50. What changed? I just told you what changed. The system. That's globalization. No, it was a choice. And the rich here made it for the rest of us. And they made out like all income tax. It's not hidden in equity and capital gains or other loopholes. No one makes this the focus. And even when they do, they're renegades, like Bernie. And his remedies and rhetoric attack capitalism, and that's silly. Trump has a chance to be about this. That's why I kept saying his stated goals of making what we want and need right here are admirable. But tariffs are just one tool, and he is arguably not using it well. Well, he had to do something. I agree. But that doesn't mean that anything will make a positive difference. He needs to take away all the advantages China was allowed by America's power establishment in exchange for cheap stuff for us. But what did they get? Many, many, many billions in profits for the few at the expense of the many. If I'm wrong, then why is the number of billionaires with a B in America growing faster than any other socioeconomic group? Did you know that? Google it. And guess what? They ain't making the money here. If Trump or the Democrats want to claim the populist mantle, you cannot give the same people who raped us a tax cut. In 1970, the 400 richest families in America paid over 50% in.
Listen, he says something very important. He said that Trump is getting close to do what we need. Like what? Because he's talking about raising tariff and maybe canceling our income tax. That was the number one thing he would do, and everybody's gonna be happy about it. He's talking about raising tariff on everything that's coming in America to minimize the income tax. He was going across. That's why people, most other people, that is small, like rather regular people like Trump, because he talk about it. He talks about it. We're going to eliminate income tax. At least we're going to eliminate tax on tips. We're going to eliminate tax on overtime. If you work more than 40 hours a week, those hours you work after 40 hours, they're not going to tax them. That's Trump. By doing that, he's going to improve the life of the regular people. Guess what? In his party himself, they are fighting that idea. They don't want to see the idea. It's in a bill. It's in a bill, but they're not going to see that. They don't want to do it. Democrat themselves, they voted no already. Already they say we cannot vote for that. So if they care for us, the small people, the regular people, why they don't eliminate? Why they don't support Trump idea to increase tariff and eliminate tax, or at least cut tax on middle income. Why they don't support it? Meaning, the big donors, these big people who donate money to the politician, they don't want to see that. If they want to see that, it's going to happen tomorrow. That's the main issue, and that's what he's talking about here. So we all know for a few months that Israel was preparing to strike Iran because they don't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb. Obviously, Trump decided to do it in another way. Israel was trying to strike, to bomb it. That was the target for a long time, and they was waiting for Trump to come in and give him permission because Biden was not able to do that. So there have been a talk between Iran and the U.S. and obviously they are going to keep talking. So they're not going to strike. From the news we are getting now, I think they find out even if they try, they're not going to stop it 100%. If you follow the news from the General John King, who is the number one go-to general when it comes to those type of information, he's going on Fox News on everywhere talking about the plan. Even on Ukraine, Israel, he's the number one uh, guy who has most information. So he said that even if they try, they're not going to be able to strike and destroy all the facilities because they're too far underground. They can only destroy a small chunk of the program, but they cannot destroy all the facilities. So the goal was to slow down the program.
Maggie Haberman is here with me tonight. What is your reporting show about just how close Israel was to moving ahead with this?
Sure. So there's a team of us who reported on this story, and Israel wanted to move ahead with these strikes, but really couldn't do it without U.S. support, and that was widely known within the Trump administration. And President Trump, yes, he has been very bellicose about Iran, but he has also been very clear that he doesn't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon, but he also would like a deal with Iran. It is something that he has talked about for a while, and he waved Israel off of this essentially in terms of the U.S. supporting these strikes because he wants to try a diplomatic route. And the feeling among some of his advisors is, if we do this, there's nothing lost if we try these talks. If they don't work, the option of a military strike is always there. These strikes on Houthi targets were sort of seen as a midway point for some of the administration. It has underscored, and it's a debate with nuance, but that there is some divide within the administration on how to handle Iran generally.
Yeah, and the president seems very wary from your reporting and also what he said publicly about this of taking a step like that and not being able to pull it back. And you report about warnings that he's gotten from some officials like Tulsi Gabbard over, it could go not the way they expect it to go, essentially.
Correct. There are a number of officials in the administration, and these are conversations that have been ongoing in various settings among themselves, not all necessarily in a group in front of the president. But there is a broader than not broad consensus emerging that there is no reason to get involved in something that might not be able to be contained as sort of a surgical strike on Iran, even if it's on all of the nuclear facilities, that this could develop into a broader war, which President Trump has made very clear privately and publicly. He does not want to end up committing the U.S. to another drawn-out conflict.
Yeah, and this meeting happened on Monday in the Situation Room. That was also the day that we heard from the president as he was meeting with the president of El Salvador, making clear they do not intend to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States, despite what the Supreme Court is.
Yeah, that's something else. That's they're going to talk about immigration. So that makes sense 100%. If they can select what is those infrastructure and extract them directly, they're going to strike like the whole city. If you all remember what happened with Libya. So Israel is proposing to do the same operation like what they did in Libya. Israel is proposing to have the same deal, like zero enrichment of uranium. But Iran is saying we are enriching uranium for civilian purpose. But Israel is saying no, it's not. That's not true. So they want to destroy all those civilian uranium development program. And Iran doesn't want to see that because they kind of afraid to be like Libya. If you remember what happened to Libya and Gaddafi, so they don't want to do that. Obviously, Trump is giving them another chance to see if they can maybe stop going too far to the military uranium enrichment, but we don't know what's going to happen. So let's see what's going to happen. But I hope Trump is going to change his mind. But for Israel, I'm not sure if Israel is going to accept that, because as soon as Iran have a nuclear weapon, Israel is going to be in trouble. Israel is going to be in trouble. And if Iran has already a nuclear weapon, Israel was not going to attack Gaza. So it's a big it is a big issue. It is a big issue because that includes also Russia and China. If you know, Russia and China supporting Iran. So U.S. attacking Iran will backfire also for this meeting about Ukraine that U.S. is having with Russia. And also it's going to have a lot to do with China and America talk on tariffs. So Trump don't want to mix these kind of issues at the same time because he's facing Russia on Ukraine, China on tariff. If he include this kind of attack on Iran, it's going to be too much and he cannot handle that. So let's see, we'll keep watching and see where it's going. But no one wants to see that kind of war again. But I hope they're going to figure it out in a very nice and good way. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.